Is multi-apping dead? I remember those days back 5 years ago when I'd have DoorDash, GrubHub, and Postmates going. If you had Uber Eats, you might have added that in, and you would take an order, DoorDash order. They'd give you several minutes to pick up the order. They'd give you several minutes to drop off the order, and then you had the 10-minute period after the actual time it said to get the order to the customer. This gave you a lot of time to select orders from other apps like GrubHub, Uber Eats, or Postmates. And at that time, a driver like myself who was happy doing multiple apps at the same time could really maximize my profits. As the time has worn on, this doesn't seem to be the case. The apps have really begun to squeeze the time and they have it drilled down so tightly that as a DoorDash driver, I almost think it's impossible to utilize another app while you're out with a DoorDash order. That's not to say you can't have multiple apps running and select the best orders, but to be able to select a DoorDash order and then stack on an Uber Eats or a GrubHub order, I don't think that's happening anymore, folks. And if it is going to happen, you're going to find out it's very stressful to make sure you get that DoorDash order done before you get a violation. They are drilling down so tightly on the GPS that they literally give you the exact amount of time when you leave the restaurant to get to the customer. I'm talking if you have 1 mile to drive, they might give you 3 minutes to complete that. They know exactly with their algorithm how much time it should take you with the speed limit, the type of traffic you have to drive through, and the community you're in to get that order completed. So those great days of DoorDash driving when you could select a DoorDash 650 by 2 and you could pick up a $7 Uber Eats, maybe even throw in a GrubHub to make it a triple dip, maximize your profits, those days are gone in my opinion. There might be a select few times where you can squeeze that in and make it happen, but if you look at the time that they give you on the pickups and the drop-offs, it is minutes, if not seconds, to the point where you're supposed to be there at the customer's door dropping it off. And it's kind of irritating as a driver. I know for customers, it had to be irritating on the other sense where you would see a driver right driving all over town with your order, wondering what they're doing. Most likely that driver had multiple apps running to maximize their profits, and they were picking up 1, 2, and 3 orders all at the same time, going the same direction, hopefully, and then dropping off your order as they got down the line with the 3 that they were on. But now, this isn't happening for DoorDash drivers. DoorDash drivers are locked into doing one order at a time, and if they don't, they will be penalized. And you drivers understand that lessens the amount of money that you can actually earn while you're out here doing DoorDash. I remember being able to go one direction with 2 DoorDash orders and maybe an Uber Eats order, $6.50 each on the DoorDash, $6 on the Uber Eats, all in the same direction, maybe to a downtown area or something like that. And you could drop all those off well within time frame. Customers seem to be pretty happy about it. Everything worked out, and boom, you made $18 in that same 2 mile trip versus $6 for the 2 miles. So, man, I just kind of wish those days would come back, but they're not coming back, you guys. These apps, they are tightening down the screws on us. Uber Eats is doing the same thing. GrubHub, they're a little laggy, and in my market, they're not really super busy, so I don't get as concerned about them. But for sure, for those DoorDash drivers watching, you're seeing this. You're feeling the squeeze. You're feeling the push to just do all the DoorDash orders you can, even if they're not good orders. And you don't have that availability to add on by multi-apping. So unless something major changes, it's just not going to happen as a DoorDash driver. Now, what you could do, though, and this is what I do, instead of trying to stack orders, I have GrubHub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash running at the same time. And therefore, when I get a good Uber Eats, I can pause my DoorDash, pick up the Uber Eats, and move along, go deliver that, and then unpause my DoorDash as I'm close to that customer to see what next best option there is from those 3 apps. So if you're a multi-apper, that would be my best tip on how to make that happen nowadays, just what I would call chain link orders versus stacking orders. It's still not going to make you the same amount of money that it used to when you would stack orders and on one trip would make $18 to $25, but it will keep you busy. It'll keep you consistently making money, and it gives you better offers when those ones do come. I've been out several times where GrubHub's running in the background, and like I mentioned in my market, it's pretty slow, but all of a sudden a $15 GrubHub pops up 2 miles. So I pause my DoorDash, I bump off the Uber Eats, I go take care of the GrubHub. As soon as I'm done there, I turn all the apps back on and I see what's coming next. This may be the next best thing to what we used to be able to do when it came to stacking orders as a multi-apper, and hopefully it can work for you in your market and help you maximize profits, because those days of stacking multiple orders, multi-apping, making it really, really, really efficient and effective for you to earn a lot of money, I think are gone. If you disagree, let me know. In your market, how have you seen it happen? Because in my market, I can't hardly get to the customer's house with one order without being right on the nick of time. Yeah, I don't ever reach the 10 minutes after, but that 1 minute where they want me to be right there, I'm barely there sometimes. And that's when I get stopped by slow traffic, something like a train in the way, things that just slow us down out here on the road. They're not really allotting for all those things. So sometimes just one little hiccup, a 30-seconder, a 1 minute wait somewhere, it really pushes you behind. And you'll notice they've got us down to the second on those drop offs. So it's a little bit annoying. I don't really care for it, but maybe using multiple apps, while you can't stack them, you can chain link them, and you can find that does pretty well for you. I hope you guys enjoy what you're doing out there as a delivery driver, and I hope you can, even in this harder market, still find ways to make decent profits for yourself. Till the next video, take care.